Welcome to video 3, Going Deeper into the Breaches by Urban Forex. Alright, so in this video, I wanted to basically go into depth of, now that you understand the overview of breaches, let's understand a few things about breaches. Okay, sometimes every now and then you're going to get a false breach as well. Now what is a false breach and what does it look like? A false breach is something like this. You have a hold into the market, okay? And it'll look like it's trying to go higher, but it'll just probe right back down. Immediately, he'll come back down. That would be a false breach. It was trying to go north, but then it came right back down, holding back inside the range. Some of you guys might call this a faker, a probe, a fake out. It comes with many words on the internet, right? It comes with many words on the internet. That is basically a false breach. Another thing to identify a false breach is this. This hold is way too small to call this a new breach. All this movement belongs to this guy up here, not to that little guy. Okay? You want to use a big, chunky, meaty move, as we discussed in the last video, to say that's where the breach actually happens. Okay? Some of the things that make breaches more powerful, I want you to remember, is news events. News events can make a breach very powerful. So for example, if you have this hold here, and when you see the breach happening, but when you refer to your economic calendar, it lines up with a activity that just came out, that makes this breach a little bit more powerful. That means whatever economic data that came out with it, it actually had some power behind it. Okay, and that power caused a new territory to develop. Okay, that makes it a lot more powerful. Another thing that makes breaches more powerful is the break of session lows and session highs. Now, what does that mean? Let's say if this is all that New York could do. Okay, so right after New York, Asia opens. So if this is all New York could do, and New York set the prices of this high and this low, if Asia opens up and Sydney takes us all the way down, that has some significant power to it. And then we say, okay, well, we've put in the highs and we've put in the lows. As long as we're within this territory, it's all for selling, because this was so powerful. It was created by a session break, or it was created by a news event. This makes your breaches a lot more powerful. Okay? And 9 out of 10 times when I personally trade, I only trade based on one of these two criteria. If I have a breach and I don't have a news event behind it, or I can't figure out why it's moved, then chances are that trade, any trade I do beyond that, is going to be a little bit more dangerous, because there is no why behind that. There is no reasoning behind that movement. So any further movement for a sell that I will do will be in danger. Okay? So stuff like that. So the two things, again, are session breaks, session high, session low, or news events. They're a lot more powerful, news events. So if a breach happens due to a news event, that can make that territory a lot more powerful. All right, so you've gone through quite a bit of knowledge this week. Okay, I wanted to keep the video short, as I promised to you. You've learned about breaches, you've learned about territories, and you learned about what are the different things that makes breaches stronger. Again, this is very important, because right now we're still on the limbo area of I'm trying to teach you the knowledge that connects to your why before going too much into the technical. Okay, this is as close as you're gonna get, where your technical analysis must still hold on to your why, which is your fundamentals, your session breaks, and all this stuff. This creates the power for the movement that's going to go on forward. All the stuff I'm going to teach you week after week on how to take a trade. Okay, so you have to know your fundamentals leading up to that. You have to know your territories and your breaches, and then everything else that I'm going to layer on top for you are going to be puzzle pieces that will all fit together, and it will make more and more sense to you, and it's going to be like, wow, I didn't know that all of this fits in together. It'll be like an artwork. It'll be beautiful. You'll love it as you get closer and closer towards the end of this course. So stay strong. this whole week, we're going to release examples day after day on different types of breaches and territories. Practice with that. Do your own breaches as well. Practice with that as we get into the next week. Don't forget to keep looking at your fundamentals as well, and your lesson one stuff as well. So I'll see you next week.